Well, hello, Stonecreek Church family. It's Good Friday. Do you think differently about Friday as you look forward to Easter on this special day? It's good, isn't it? It's good because this is the night Jesus goes to the Garden of Gethsemane. And it begins what is known as the Passion of the Christ. He takes Peter, James, and John with him to the garden, and he asks them to pray with him. And he says to them, pray and keep watch. And he removes himself about a stone's throw away into the cool, light breeze of an olive grove. And he falls to his knees, and he begins to weep and pray. We think that he's praying this intense prayer in the agony because we as humans think that he's thinking about the suffering that he's going to endure on the cross. And yes, the suffering will be hard. The suffering will be so difficult because Jesus will endure mocking. Jesus will endure an unjust trial. Jesus will endure torture. The Romans had a new word that was created because they learned how to really torture a man on a cross. And the word excruciating literally means out of the cross. And so we think that Jesus is experiencing this intense agony because he's going to be facing this physical torture. And yet when Jesus falls to the ground and begins to weep and grab the cool blades of grass and his sweat begins to drop, the intense anxiety that he's experiencing is known as hematidrosis, where the capillaries of a person's scalp begin to break and come out through the pores and like sweating drops of blood. We think that he's excruciatingly wrestling in his soul because of the torture that he's going to endure. And yet we know that that's part of it, but it's not all of it. He's suffering because he knows that one of his closest disciples will betray him with a kiss. We know that he's suffering because the rest of the disciples will leave him and just turn their back on him and run away for their own safety. We know that he's suffering in anxiety and stress because he's going to face all of this and the crucifixion. But is that the real stress? We seem to focus on the humanity of Jesus and we forget the divinity of Jesus, and he's always been connected to the Father. He and the Father are one. He said on many occasions, when I speak the Father's words. What I do is what my Father commands me to do. And so what is it that he's anticipating? Well, yes, he will be tortured. They will put a crown of thorns on him that will break into his scalp and cause pain. They will pluck at his beard and mock him. They'll blindfold him and spit on him. They will flog him with a cat o' nine tails with bits of bone and glass attached to it, and a Roman soldier will beat him nearly to the point of death. They'll put a robe on him again and mock him, and as the blood coagulates to the robe, they then will strip him of that robe and lay him in the cross. Nail his hands and his feet and put him up for people to jeer and mock. Above his head is a sign, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. He's praying because he's anticipating this, but I don't think that's all of it. His divinity is so closely tied into his humanity. This is the Son of God. He will take on the sin of the world. He will take on my sin. He will take on your sin. He will be separated from the Father for the first time in all of eternity as he takes on the weight of the world's sin. And so he weeps and he sweats. And he goes back to his disciples, his followers, his friends, his loved ones, and he's discouraged because they can't stay awake. The cool breeze of midnight and the silence is only a rendering of time for them, but for Jesus, it's a rendering of time running out. A time coming where, as he said, behold, I make all things new. And so when Jesus goes to the cross, it's his humanity and his divinity that are connected and then separated. The first time ever that Jesus is separated from the Father. My God, why have you forsaken me? And yet he asked earlier, Father, if you can, take this cup away. Yet not my will, but your will be done. And I thank God because Jesus followed the Father's will, not only to the point of death, but to the point of separation from him. You see, we don't know what it's like to be connected to the Father. Only because of Jesus can we get a glimpse, a taste, a small picture of what it is like to be close to the Father again. But we will never truly understand until we see again the tree of life and be united to Jesus. And so it's not Good Friday. It's an awesome Friday. It's an incredible Friday. It's a heart-rendering Friday. If you are a follower of Jesus, this Friday should remind you of your sin and of the price and of a wonderful, wonderful Savior. May you have an awesome Friday as we look forward to and anticipate Sunday. I'm not even going to spoil it. You know what's coming. God bless you.